My name is Sharon Atkinson. I'm from Guyana. I'm Lokono Arawak from the northwestern part of Guyana, Santa Rosa village. I'm a founder member of the Amerindian Peoples Association of Guyana. I'm also co-chair of the Guyana Human Rights Association, and in my community, I'm chair of the local board of guardians, where we look after the poorest of the poor. I also work in my community with women on various projects, mainly doing of the paperwork. And I'm also, my formal training is mainly in doing field research.
So can you tell us, especially based on the presentation that you gave this morning, what are the most effective things that the indigenous communities in Guyana are doing to resist, corporations and government that is coming in to take the land?
Well, for decades we've been in the struggle for policy and legislation reform, and we're still pushing for that right now in Guyana. Most recently, the Amerindian Peoples Association took the lead in getting the government department, Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, and the National Two Show Councils, where all the indigenous leaders are members of by virtue of their office, to meet and decide on a way forward toward in ensuring the 2006 Amerindian Act, which is the act that governs us in Guyana, is revised. So we're hoping and pushing for fundamental changes in some provisions. With respect to mining, again, we've documented, and again we're documenting, we're visiting communities on the spot, we're taking photographs, interviewing people. We also are visiting government departments. With this new government, we've had visits from the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, which heads the extractive industries, making visits to communities. The problem is the GGMC do not have personnel to keep tabs on all those miners and all what is happening in the forest in Guyana. It's very limited in that respect. So by the time the officials return, then for most of the mining operations is back to business as usual. Although there are some legislations which says that you cannot mine on riverbeds and stuff like that, miners still carry out their activities. So our people would travel from very far distances in the interior, pool their money together to come down to the city to lodge complaints. Sometimes we make, when they let us know they're coming, we try to make appointments with the various government agencies. We assist them in writing letters and in documenting, so they just do not go verbally, but they take a letter as well. And we also, there's a lawyer in Guyana who is helping us on some cases pro bono. We try to put them in contact with that lawyer as well. But it's a really uphill struggle because the laws governing the rights of mineral is not in our favor, and we've lost cases already because the law does not uphold. The law says the minerals are the property of the state. We're seeking recognition from the government, paper recognition, title, to say that the lands are ours, without save and accept clauses, we just don't want a paper that doesn't mean anything. We would like to have the land and the resources on the natural resources, what is above, what is below. So we can have management and control of those lands. If we do not have that, then the state, the Constitution of Guyana says we have a right to our way of life, but in practice, that is not so, because there is the laws are conflicting. And the Upper Mazruni took the government to court nearly 15 years ago, and it's only recently the cases were heard. And during that time, more mining concessions in that area has been given out to other people. We also made a petition to the Inter-American Human Rights Commission for the village of Isinaru. That again, we did like 3 years ago, so that is still in waiting. Our government, even if the commission asks for reports, and so our government, they do not respond, or the last government denied. So and when we try to use some of the international laws, sometimes they tell us it's not binding, and of course it takes a very long time for reports to go and come back, and fact-finding to happen, and so. And our government loves to say we're a sovereign country, and sovereignty, a lot of things are covered under as well. For the Amerindian Peoples Association, with this new government, we have a little breathing space here, which we've strategically trying to use and trying to move as much as possible quickly to move and see how we can get some legislative reform. And so we've been going into communities and will be moving into communities and trying to mobilize people and trying to relook at some of the work we already did and what is already there, to refresh, to mobilize, to see if we can unite, to have one force, to see if we can move the government to the political will in trying to make some changes. We don't know that how much of that is going to happen again, but we're not giving up.